What is going on, guys? LSU Recruiting HQ back again, and it is one of those crappy weeks where LSU is on a bye. The worst week of football season, in my opinion, is a weekend where LSU is not playing, and that is what we have this week. But all that means is it gives you more time, more anticipation, uh, gets you a chance to get the fall weddings in for those unfortunate people that have to do that kind of stuff. Um, because fall is not a time to plan for weddings. Um, but if you are going to do it, you must plan accordingly around bye weeks. Um, but with that being said, the bye week is upon us. Today is Sunday, October 30th, the day before Halloween, and it is officially Alabama game week. That means LSU, Alabama in Tiger Stadium at night. Can't wait for this game. Super excited. Line came out today. It's set at 12 and a half points in favor of Alabama. And I expect that line to drop a little bit. Probably like the 10 to make that line when it finally closes on Saturday. Today's episode, we're not going to be really talking about the Alabama game. That one's going to be coming later on this week. Can't wait to do all that. This week is going to be your like mid-season recruiting update. A lot of you guys have, once season gets started, you kind of lose track of what's going on with recruiting and stuff like that. But we're here to give it to you guys, give you guys updates about what's going on. LSU just got a commit recently, a linebacker out of Texas that was committed to Baylor. Just announced he was committed last week. And what do we think is LSU's game plan for the future, and what is going to go on in the next month or two with more official visits coming, and then of course in December the early signing period coming. Um, so today that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to start it off by saying, well, LSU currently sits with 23 commitments for the class of 2023. As it stands right now on the On3 website, which is where we get all our sources. So this is where all these numbers are coming from. On3, make sure you guys go check out their content. They have amazing stuff posted daily. But LSU currently sits fifth nationally. In the 2023 recruiting class rankings, third in the SEC behind Alabama, Georgia. Um, and right now, the three highest ranked commitments for the LSU Tigers are going to be Sheldon Sampson out of Catholic High, right there in Baton Rouge. He's the 30th ranked player in the class, fifth ranked wide receiver, number two ranked player in the state of Louisiana. Um, just a huge pickup for Brian Kelly about a month ago. Getting a guy like Sheldon Sampson to come to LSU. Catholic has a thing where I don't believe they let their kids enroll early as of right now. Um, at least that's what happened with Emory Jones. So I'm not sure if Sheldon Sampson is going to be able to enroll early. But that will be a guy who definitely will come in and make an immediate impact in the fall. For sure. A big, tall, lanky receiver. Has a great release, great route running, great hands, of course. Um, and just can't wait to see him do big things at LSU. Second ranked prospect for LSU, or the second highest ranked prospect for LSU, is Deshaun Warmack out of the DMV area up there in Maryland. He's the number one prospect in Maryland, and this kid has just been surging up boards every single time they come out with the new rankings. This kid is moving up more and more spots. I got a feeling that by the end of the time, he is going to be a 5 star. And he is going to be the highest ranked player in LSU's class, I believe personally. As of right now, he sits as a 50th ranked player. Like I said, number one in the state of Maryland. He's a defensive end, super talented. Actually got to watch him come play. He played in South Carolina. Got to go watch him play, and he is, man. He is a game wrecker, and he is a dominant physical specimen on the field. They say that's what they're supposed to look like. Well, that is what they're supposed to look like. Deshaun Warmack, uh, just an out of body kind of kid. Dominates, puts his footprint on the game as soon as he gets on the field, and just dominates whoever's across from all night. Makes the offense, basically just ruins the offensive game plan because you have to put so much attention on him. If any of that transfers to the next level, he is going to be a superstar as well. And then the third ranked prospect currently in the LSU Tigers recruiting class is Lance Hurd. Most of you guys know who that is. Neville guy up there in Monroe. Currently sits as the 53rd ranked prospect, and this is another huge get for Brad Davis after pulling Will Campbell, Emory Jones last year. You land a 5-star in Lance Hurd, who's currently outside of that 5-star range now. Dropped a little bit to 53rd nationally, 4th ranked player in Louisiana. Depending on what site you look at, he might be still a 5-star. But either way, super talented kid. Like I said, came from the same high school as Will Campbell. So the roots are there, and Brad Davis has just done a tremendous job recruiting offensive linemen and rebuilding this offensive line from what it was when he came here. So that's a huge pickup. Obviously, games are won and lost in the trenches. So you see the great defensive line class that LSU has currently and the offensive line class that is coming into its own soon. A cool stat that I like that On3 has right now is that out of the 23 commits, 39% of the commitments that LSU has right now are currently from the state of Louisiana. I'm not going to go and list them all currently. You can guys go look them up if you need to. But just a ton of talent as usual. And that's not including, the number one players. You have guys like Derek Williams and Arch Manning that are in the top 3 of the Louisiana ranking system right now, and both of those kids are going to Texas as of right now. Arch Manning obviously is going to Texas. He is not decommitting. There's still time for Derek Williams. Obviously, LSU is recruiting him very hard. But we'll see how that recruitment ends up going. I don't think LSU will be able to pull that one off. But like I said, we've seen crazier things happen for sure. All right, so the most important thing that all you guys want to know is what is next for LSU recruiting. Obviously, with how signing day and the classes work now, don't say unlimited, but you can sign a lot more players than the 25 you are used to be allowed, which means that LSU can kind of like start to rebuild this roster for the second straight year. Last year, killing the transfer portal in the offseason, kind of building off of what you needed. This year, taking more of the high school approach and trying to build the foundation that Brian Kelly is looking for. So we're going to go with the top 3 targets. This is how I think. You can have a different opinion, of course. And like I said, recruiting websites, these guys might not be like, the people I list 1 through 3 might be like the one guy might be lower ranked than another guy, but it's based on my importance of that person coming into this class, right? And what LSU needs the priority they need to put on to get that kid into this class. And the first person I'm going to talk about, most of you guys have been hearing his name for a while now. He got a couple crystal balls about 2 months ago. To come to LSU, and that is DJ Chester, interior offensive lineman, can play center, guard, out of Georgia, top 150 player in the nation, and Brad Davis has done a tremendous job with this kid, working him, getting him on campus. LSU sits in a great spot with this kid. Like I said, a lot of the crystal balls, percentage-wise, are all leaning towards LSU. It's really about just when this kid wants to make his decision and the time frame that he's looking at. He's still taking some official visits for sure. And you got to compete with teams like Michigan, Florida, Auburn, Clemson, South Carolina. A lot of teams still vying for his services out there on the East Coast and the South, of course. But this is a huge priority for me. Obviously, like I said earlier, the game is won and lost in the trenches, and the more offensive linemen you can get, the better. You can have that depth and that talent and just keep replenishing. And you've obviously seen that Brad Davis is a tremendous offensive line coach. By the way the offensive line starts the season to the way they finish the season, the last 2 years, it's undeniably that Brad Davis knows what he's doing. And I think DJ Chester will end up in this class. I'm not going to say he's going to be the next domino to fall, because he hasn't really set a timetable yet for when he wants to make his commitment. But I expect him fully to be in this class by the end of the year, and probably in the early signing period. All right, next guy we're going to talk about is a safety. Huge prospect for LSU. Um, Javian Tavino, uh, out of Texas, Arlington, Texas, number 5 safety in the nation, a top 40 prospect as well. Um, this kid has been an A&M commit, right? Decommitted. Everybody immediately said LSU, LSU, LSU. But things have kind of went quiet with his recruitment. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, doesn't really talk about it too much. Um, but he's said multiple times that he knows where he wants to go, and he's kind of just taking these visits. But he kind of has a feeling of where he wants to go, and I believe that feeling is going to be LSU. The famous picture of him at the A&M Arkansas game with the LSU hat on, taking his official visit with A&M, wearing LSU stuff is pretty cool. Like I said, top 50, says he wants to sign in December, right? So that's good news. That's why I kind of feel like he's going to be the next domino to fall, because I feel like he knows where he wants to go. I feel like LSU is the place where he wants to go, and I feel like he's going to make that commitment sooner than later. Um, Still taking official visits. In this case, you have to worry about Michigan again, Oklahoma, and obviously the two Texas schools in Texas, Texas A&M, all vying for this kid's services. Talented player. A huge need for LSU is the secondary. You're losing a lot of guys. You got a lot of guys out of the transfer portal that are older, have a lot of experience, but that means they're going to move on, graduate, do whatever, and you're going to have to replenish that room. Probably through the transfer portal again, but it's going to be good to get guys like this in that room, um, and see what they can do. Maybe you can get a guy to break out as a freshman, and step in and fill that role for the next 2 to 3 years, which would be huge for LSU. All right. So, last guy we're going to talk about today, Desmond Ricks. If you guys haven't heard already, reclassified. He was a 2024 prospect. Now currently sits in the 2023 after he reclassified. And what that means for LSU, all right, is that they were already in a decent spot as it is. Um, but now you have to turn up the heat, because Alabama is a team that is vying for this kid's services, and now with Cormani McLean kind of leaving Florida at the altar and heading to Miami, the number one cornerback in the country, for the 2023 class, that puts a huge emphasis for Billy Napier in Florida to get Desmond Ricks into this class, because they are vying for help badly, and I think they're desperate, and I think they're going to throw everything they can at Desmond Ricks to try to get him in this class. As of right now, people see it as a LSU Alabama thing, but I fully expect Florida to get back into the mix, of course. Um, After losing the number one corner in the country to Miami, your rival, um, that's just going to mean they're going to turn up the heat on Desmond Ricks. And LSU needs a guy like this. Same thing with uh, Taviano. Uh, you've got to make a impression, and you've got to make a stamp in this class with refilling this DB room with talent, guys that can get on the field early and often, and you're gonna replace a struggling secondary room, all right, and build it from this high school class. Hopefully, you got a couple corners already committed. You add a guy like Desmond Ricks in there, and you're talking about one of the better corner classes in the country. If you can add him and Tavanio, and that would be huge for Brian Kelly to get this kid. But all the signs point to say that he's probably not going to make a decision until late 2023. I'm not sure how this reclassifying thing works. If you can enroll early, how all that stuff works. He's coming from IMG, so I'm sure all that stuff is going to be taken care of, as far as like the schoolwork and getting out of the high school part. Um, but yeah, man, this is a huge one for LSU. Number 2 cornerback in the 2023 class. Recently, just got ranked as a 12th overall player when they put him into the database, and so he's already the 12th ranked player in this class. Obviously, a crazy talent, coming from a prestigious high school, originally out of Virginia, I believe, and it's going to be a huge one for Brian Kelly if he can somehow land Desmond Ricks. Like I said, battling Saban at Alabama and then Billy Napier at Florida. I feel like it's going to be that three-team race, and we'll see how things shake out. But I like where LSU stands as of right now, putting themselves in a good position. LSU is the school that he has visited the most out of all of the three. So you can take that for what it's worth. I don't buy too much into that kind of stuff, but like I said, it's there out there, and I think LSU will wrap up a good class. But those are my three guys. Some more stuff that I wanted to talk about. Two guys that I think personally could end up in this class still. Let's see where we at. Where we at? Where we at? Oh, I can't find it. I'm trying to find the names. Where's it at? All right. Anyway, the DMV area 5-star Nicholas Harbor is clearly one of the most talented players in the country. He is a freak of nature. Plays tight end. Most likely gonna play defensive end in college. That is a guy LSU is busting their behinds to get. They are in a deep battle with South Carolina, Michigan, and LSU. It seems like right now are the three teams vying for his services the hardest, and he is. I believe he's scheduled to make a visit this weekend. If I had to take a guess, I believe it's this weekend is when he is going to be on campus for LSU. So a huge weekend for Brian Kelly, not only with Alabama coming to town, but a huge recruiting weekend. Obviously, the atmosphere is going to be wild in Baton Rouge this weekend with Bama coming to town. It being a night game. Just a huge week in general. But that's another guy y'all need to keep y'all's eye on. And then obviously the kid, defensive lineman from Hawaii. I can't find his name right now. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. But keep an eye on him as well. He's a top 100 prospect on the defensive line. And if you can land Harbor and this kid, or just one of the two, I mean, your defensive line class is historically good. I'm talking about like rebuilt. You have 4 to 5 guys that could start as freshmen. I mean, that's crazy to think about. It's already a deep class as it is with 4 commitments on the defensive line, and it could just get even better. I got a feeling that one of those two might pop. I like where they stand with the Harvard kid. A lot of people are starting to feel LSU out as the favorite. But we'll see how that recruiting goes. Still a long ways to go in that one. Um, and that is about it. That is all we're going to talk about today, man. It's been a longer video than usual. I did not think it was going to be this long. But like I said, if you guys haven't already, man, make sure to like this video. Drop a comment on what guys you want to see in this class coming up. And let me know what you guys think of LSU's class currently. And as always, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is completely free. We're going to be posting videos this week. Getting ready for Alabama week is the biggest weekend of the college football season with Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Alabama. Basically, the West and the East championship games going on this weekend, man, you could say. And LSU is sitting in a very good spot right now. College football playoff rankings come out on Tuesday, the first ones of the year. I expect to see them close to the top 15, if not in the top 15. And yeah, man, it should be a fun weekend in Baton Rouge. I wish I could be there. That environment's going to be absolutely crazy. But then, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon this week with the Alabama video. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.